Hi everyone, welcome to the Random Burrito and welcome to a new deck unboxing. This is the Rainbow Kipper from Tony Poole and Stephen Bright. So as you know, if you've been following our channel, aside from Tarot and Oracle, I do have other divination decks that I use, namely Lenormand, and this one is the Sibylla deck. I use them quite rarely, if I'm being honest, when I'm doing the pick a card videos. But in my actual readings, I do use them quite a lot. And that's because sometimes there are questions that tarot is not supposed to answer or is not being used to answer, especially when it involves the mundane, everyday things. If you're bordering on spying or gossiping, then I won't use tarot for that. Then I will use these other decks. Again, this is Sibylla, this is Lenormand, and this one we have Kipper. So Kipper is another form of card divination or cartomancy. Kipper was created back in the 18th century in Bavaria. It's a region in Germany that includes present-day Munich and Nuremberg. It borders Austria and the Czech Republic. And the primary reason why not a lot of readers use Kipper is because most of the instructions or most of the manuals for Kipper are in German, and not a lot of translators are available or were available at that time, but now it's being made more mainstream, I guess. It's been more accessible to the rest of the world thanks to the works of people like Tony Poole. So Miss Tony Poole is regarded as the leading expert when it comes to Kipper divination, and included in this Kipper deck is the booklet, and it's a very hefty booklet, and it contains the meaning of every card as well as the directions, the instructions, and how the cards interact with each other. Alright, so these are the creators. Actually, Tony Poole has her own YouTube channel, and I watched her channel prior to receiving this deck, just so I could have a good grasp of how the system works and, you know, have myself ready when I do start reading the guidebook and I'm just not going in blind. So the thing with Kipper cards is that, oh, they're actually gilded. Silver edging. Alright, that's interesting. And the way how Kipper works in general and why it's unique, it's because unlike the other cards wherein unlike Lenormand, so Lenormand, you just pick like at least 2 cards and then you'll get the reading from left to right, reading it like a sentence, basically. Same with Sibylla. But in Kipper, there's a lot of things that depend on where your main character, looks. So if your main character 1 is looking this way, then it has the cards on the right would have a different meaning, would have a different set of predictions as compared to if the cards are on the left. So there's a lot of interaction on the direction where the people are facing. And it's a rainbow Kipper because it has, it's color coded. There are the 4 main characters, I assume. They're all colorless, so they're white here at the bottom, and they are, I guess, brown. And they are neutral colors. So I believe There are 4 because sometimes your reading would be about 2 guys or 2 girls or however they identify. It's very traditional, so that's why there's that binary in this deck. You just need to choose your main character 1 and main character 2. Whatever you pull out, just make sure the main characters would be facing each other. Right? It's important that they face each other before you shuffle them. The other unused main characters, you need to put them away or put them aside. And they are, again, color-coded because some of the cards have different functions. Like this one, Rich Girl, Good Gent. They are of a certain classification. So let's go over them. Okay, the green are the people. So these are the people that you would interact with. And on the people cards, we have the rich girl. It is exactly what the cards are saying. This is a rich girl, someone who is affluent, someone with cash, someone you would relate to with abundance. Next, we have good gent. So this is a kind gentleman, probably somebody older or more mature than the person you're reading for, or the querent. So somebody older, someone more mature, someone with good intentions. Next, we have the good lady. So opposite to the good gent, the good lady is a woman who is seen as sometimes very maternal, someone who has a female who has your best interest in mind. And then we have here the rich gent. Of course, if we have the rich girl, we have the rich gent. So this is an affluent, rich man, someone with the means to, buy whatever he wants. We have infant. So infant in other decks, like in Lenormand, there's child. In Sibila, there's bambino. Infant is, child, somebody younger, somebody more immature. It could also be like a literal infant, a literal child. But in some other cases, this could also mean like new beginning. I see some readers interpret it as that. And then we have here the next section. Oh, okay. One moment. So those are the cards. Very good explanation. And there's the saying, I'm supportive and loyal, always there when you need a father's influence. All right. So our interpretation was correct. And so it says here like the placement. So where it is placed, again, is very crucial to the whole reading itself. So see, when landing behind the main character's back, he creates difficulties within their relationship and is less supportive of the querent. But if it's placed ahead of the main character card, then that would be somebody positive. All right, so those are the people cards. Next, we have the red. These are the stop cards. So in Kipper, just like in the Normand, you're creating a story. You're creating a reading, a sentence, a chapter in some cases. And every work of literature needs to have a stop. It needs to have that period. And these are the stop cards. Once you receive or once you pull out one of these cards, then that signifies the ending of that reading. And you don't need to pull more cards. So let's go over them one by one. So it says here buildings. So there are stop cards here that are buildings or infrastructures. And that means that the querent or the person asking needs to navigate their current surroundings to get over the situation. So let's take a look at the stock cards. So the Kipper cards, the art style of this one is very much influenced by Stephen Bright. He is quite modern in his take. I've seen his tarot deck before, and it has the same style wherein it's just a silhouette and then a very rich, colorful background. So here we have the letter. The letter could mean a message or a secret. It says here, win lots. So it means like winning or earning a very big prize. Could be money, could be fame, recognition, but either way, it really is about winning big in life. Next, we have good outcome. So it literally is what it says, a really good outcome. So you see, like there's it's keeping the rainbow theme here. So whether that's praise, recognition, love, hope, it really tells about a good outcome. Next, we have his thoughts. So it's really his thoughts. What is the other person thinking? So whenever it says his, her, it really pertains to another person. It's not about the person asking. And then we have house. House provides, your base of operations. It provides rest. It provides structure in our life. Next is the living room. So living room is about rest. It's also about socialization, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a glance and see if my memory serves me right. There, living room. I will rock your world. Oh, okay. What does it mean? Okay, shows our inner sanctuary. Cards landing nearby will confirm what is going to happen within that refuge. Think of this card as the inner querent. Okay. So more of like your inner being, who you are privately. Okay. So this is the place or our state of mind when we feel safe, where we feel safe. Okay. Gonna get the thing. Okay, it says here military person. So in Sibila, there's also a card called militare, and it has the same meaning. So somebody guarding, somebody who is kind of like preventing anyone from doing anything. That's why it's a stop card. And then we have here court. So any situation that involves you being tried, being judged, being under scrutiny. So that's what court is. And then we have here high honors. So it's specifically leaning towards more of the recognition part of outcomes. We have here great fortune. So very self-explanatory. Great fortune. I love that it's keeping the rainbow theme still. This one, we all love this one. It says unexpected money. So again, this is prosperity. This is financial help when you least expect it. Prison. So anything that stops you or, takes away your sense of independence, your sense of self. That's what prison stands for. Next, we have sorrow. So that's very self-explanatory what sorrow is. Work. So that means commitment to your mundane life or the thing that's keeping you alive. Work. And lastly, we have hope, great water. So hope, great water, it's more of like an open-ended thing. It means like there is a vast horizon before you. Things, if the cards previously were not so good, then that means that there's still a lot of hope in store for you. And if things have been positive, then it could also mean that there's still even greater things waiting for you. So that's what Hope Great Water is. So those are the red cards, the stop cards. And then next we have the blue. I believe that's blue. Yes, movement. So it means movement from one place or one person to another. And there are only 4 cards under this category. We have change, of course. Change would require something going from one state to another. And then we have journey. So this is like a physical or a metaphorical journey. Next we have gift. All right, so this is where the placement is very important, because you can place like the infant here and the main character here. So you would see who is giving the gift to whom, who is the sender, who is the receiver. So in this case, it's the infant that's giving the gift towards the main character. All right, so that means if this was a reading, then that would mean that somebody younger, somebody more immature who's close to you would be giving you a gift. So what the gift is, that's something we need to ask separately. It could also be indicated by what are the cards beside them. Next we have long way. So, you know, all changes, I mean, not all changes, not all journeys are very short. Some would take time. So that's what the long way is for. The next we have pink. So these are connector cards. So since we have people cards, then there would be connector cards, because that would entail what type of interaction, what type of connection you would have between these people or between these situations. So let's take a look at the connector cards. So we have marriage. So marriage doesn't really have to be literal marriage, but at its essence, marriage is about commitment. It's about exclusivity between two people. So that's what marriage is in this context. Next we have convene. So convene is just like, you know, convention, meeting up with people, linking up with them, finding common ground. Next is court official. So remember the stop card, court. So there's a court official. This is someone being judged by someone else. So this is someone passing judgment or making decisions even on behalf of someone or for someone. The next. So this is what happens usually if you have gilded or silver edges. Your cards tend to stick and you need to kind of break them, so to speak. And then we have short illness. So short illness is, you know, like you getting a fever, you feeling overexhausted. So you see there's the person here comforting the person here. So maybe you're in a bit of a bind, you know, you don't know what to do. That's what short illness is. And lastly, we have yellow. So these are cause and effect. So we have here dishonesty. So the thing with the dishonesty card is, so there's the mask showing that they're not being their true self, and then there's the door behind. So if this was a reading, then let's say, so this is what the person is lying about because it's behind the door. So this is something, so anything to the right is sort of the secret, that they're keeping, and then the thing in front is the false thing or the lie that they are telling you. So this person is saying, so if this was like a reading, the person could be lying about them being hopeful of having a children when in fact they may already have a child already. So something like that. That's one way of interpreting it. Next we have sad news. So again, depending on where the person is, that's where, so like, this is where the sad news comes from, and this is where the sad news will go to. So that's one way of interpreting it. So let's say the person came from a long journey and they found out something, a sad news regarding the infant. Something like that. Next we have fatality. So fatality is about endings. So the coffin is in a diagonal position. So that means that it would interact with a lot of things in the reading, but it will greatly affect those at the right of it and those below it. But everything around it will really be affected by the ending. So unlike Tarot's death, fatality could really include physical, literal death. Next, we have theft. So in Sibila, there's also a card called Il Ladro, or the thief. So the theft is, there's one thing that's being taken. And so this is where what is taken away from the querent. And this card here is where the thing would be given to. So that's what it is. Sometimes it's not a physical thing that they're stealing. Next we have expectation. So again, notice where the person is looking at. That's where the expectation is for. And on the left is where what he is expecting about. And then we have gloomy thoughts. So again, notice where the person is looking at. That's the cards that will be interacting with this one. So if I was to explain how to read this or show you how it's done, that would be an entirely longer video. So I might create a different video for that. But for now, I just want you guys to see this new addition to my family of cards, and just want to show you what you can expect in my future reading videos. So again, this is the Kipper cards, the Rainbow Kipper, and this is from Tony Poole and Stephen Bright. It comes with this really thick, with 2 C's guidebook, and I love the silver edges, the feel of the card. It has a quite thick cardstock and it feels very smooth, and I am very much excited to learn more about this system and share the readings with you guys. So thank you for going me through this journey. I hope to see you in our next videos. Bye bye.